know that favorite moisturizer or serum you use every single day? Ever stop to think about the bottle it comes in? Well, there's this incredible journey of high-tech engineering and design that happens long before the product even gets made. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the blueprint to beauty packaging.
So, let me ask you something. What do some of the absolute biggest names in beauty? We're talking brands that define style and luxury. What do they all have in common? The answer is probably not what you're thinking.
Well, here's the thing. They all share a kind of secret weapon. They partner with SR Packaging, a master in the field, to turn their ideas into those iconic bottles and jars that we can all spot from a mile away.
Okay, let's really dive into this quote, because it gets to the heart of everything. The bottle or the tube, it's not just a container, right? It's like the first handshake you have with a product. Of course, it protects the formula inside, but it's also a seriously powerful tool for building up a brand's value and ultimately earning your loyalty.
So where does it all start? Well, it's not with a fully formed bottle. Nope. It begins with something that kind of looks like a little plastic test tube. It's called a PET preform, and it is the tiny seed from which almost every single bottle grows.
So a PET preform is basically a compressed version of a bottle. You can see it has the final threaded neck already perfectly formed. It's dense, it's compact, and it holds all the potential of the final product right there in that small shape.
And this is where the real transformation happens. First, that little preform is heated up just enough to make it soft and pliable. Then, a rod shoots down and stretches it vertically. At almost the exact same time, a blast of high-pressure air inflates it, kind of like a super precise, high-tech balloon, pushing it out into the shape of a metal mold. A quick cool down and bam, a perfect bottle is born.
You know, the versatility here is just incredible. By just tweaking the size of the preform and swapping out the mold, you can make everything from a tiny 10 milliliter sample vial to a huge 1500 milliliter family-size container. The range of what's possible, all from that same basic process, is just massive.
But look, creating the shape, that's really only half the battle. Once you have this bottle, it's basically a blank canvas. The next part of the journey is where a brand's true personality really starts to shine through.
And we're talking about decoration. This is the whole collection of techniques that gives the package its unique color, its texture, its whole vibe. It's the it factor that makes you pick one product over another on a super crowded shelf.
And the options here are, wow. Just think about the products you use. You know that velvety, almost rubbery, luxurious feel? That's probably a soft touch finish. Or that cool stone-like pattern on a package. That's marbling injection, which means no two are ever exactly the same. From shiny metallics and bold foil-stamped logos to elegant gradients, every single choice is a deliberate move to tell the brand's story.
And this level of detail goes way beyond just bottles. I mean, take a simple tube. The engineering is way more sophisticated than you'd think. A standard tube might just be one layer of plastic, but if a brand has a really delicate or active formula, they'll go for a 5-layer tube. You see, that middle EVOH layer acts like a high-tech shield against oxygen, protecting the product inside and making sure it works just as well on the last day as it did on the first.
Okay, so let's bring all these technical details back to the products we all know and love. How does a brand like, say, Fenty Beauty or Laura Mercier actually use this massive toolkit?
Well, it all kicks off with choosing a foundational shape. SR Packaging has this huge catalog of options, from classic rounds to modern, sharp-looking squares or elegant ovals. Each shape gives off a totally different vibe.
So imagine a brand picks its shape. It comes off the production line looking, well, like this. Perfectly formed, sure, but completely anonymous. It's a clear, plain bottle. It's functional, but it has zero soul. Yet.
But this is where the real magic happens. Now, the layers of color get applied. A specific finish, maybe that soft touch or a high gloss, is added. And finally, the branding, the logos, the text is printed with absolute precision.
And would you look at that? That blank canvas is now an iconic, instantly recognizable product. The packaging is no longer just some container, it's a huge part of the brand's identity. You see that shape, that color, that font, and you know exactly what brand you're looking at.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the entire journey one more time. It's really just this amazing process of constant transformation.
I think the key takeaway here is this. Every single beauty product you own went on this incredible journey. It started as just an idea, became a tiny plastic preform, was molded and stretched, decorated and branded, all before it finally landed on a shelf waiting for you.
And it really all comes back to that dual purpose. The packaging is a shield, right? It protects the precious science inside the bottle. But it's also a billboard, communicating value, quality, and a brand's whole identity to build a lasting relationship with you, the customer.
So I'll leave you with a final thought. The next time you pick up that lotion or serum, just take a second. Take a closer look. Feel its texture, notice the shape, and just appreciate the incredible amount of thought and engineering that went into turning a simple piece of plastic into a small work of art. Will you see it a little differently now?